Hey guys, good morning. So today's a bit of a sad day because I have to go return this beautiful ZR2. I've been having a lot of fun with this truck, but I'm picking up a new GMC Canyon, so I thought this is a great opportunity for a back-to-back fuel economy test. So I'm running here from my house in Brampton over to Oshawa on the other side of Toronto. It's about 100 kilometers in one direction. So on the way there, we'll track the fuel in this ZR2, and then on the way back, we'll track the Canyon. Now we're gonna be running through some really thick highway traffic, I'm sure, because it is rush hour. So stay tuned and we'll see how both of these trucks do. All right, first we fill up. All right, that was the first click. Now we wait 30 seconds and then we go until the next click and we're done. Okay guys, let me spit these numbers at you real quick before I take off. So this ZR2 here in Canada, where it is a ZR2, is rated at 15 liters per 100 in the city, 13 liters per 100 on the highway, and 14.1 liters per 100 combined. And then if we're talking about the US, the ZR2 is rated at 17 miles per gallon combined, 16 in the city, and 18 on the highway. ZR2 is all full. We'll reset trip B and the average fuel economy. Our range is 641 kilometers. Now let's hit the road. Just getting underway here, and there certainly are a lot of factors in today's test. The first one, which we're running into right now, is traffic. Now this is rush hour in Toronto and the greater Toronto area. It's not going to be good in either direction, so guaranteed we'll be sitting in traffic on the way back too. However, it might be a little heavier on my way there than on my way back. Now, the biggest factor in the fuel economy difference between these trucks is going to be all the different gear that comes on this ZR2. You know, the biggest one is the tires, of course. These Goodyear Wrangler Duratracs are fairly aggressive all-terrain tires, and they're going to make the fuel economy a little bit worse, along with the 2-inch lift. The other thing that the standard Colorado and Canyon get that the ZR2 doesn't is a big chin spoiler, a big plastic chin spoiler, which also helps with aero on the highway. In terms of driving style, I'm just driving normally today, but I am just going to do my best to keep up with traffic, let them dictate the speed. Right now we're stuck at about 100. Traffic is pretty heavy, but so far not too much stop and go, so we've been moving pretty good. And on that note, let me just talk you through a little bit on this ZR2 and how it just cruises down the highway. It's impressive, and that's kind of one of the coolest things about this truck is the shocks are really good when you get off-road, but you get on a highway like this and it's pretty much just a standard Colorado, you know? It doesn't feel loose or floaty or like it likes to wander or anything like that. You know, the tuning is really good, and daily driving this truck would be simple. Okay guys, we're out here cruising on the 401. We've been through some heavy traffic, but we're just coming up on the 50 kilometer mark, which is halfway. And currently we are averaging 10.4 liters per 100. There, we just turned 50K. Now for all the US viewers, I can go over and switch the units, and this system makes it pretty easy and pretty simple to switch them, just like that. So now we go back up to info, and there you have it, 31.8 miles, and currently averaging 22.4 miles per gallon. So that's the halfway point. One of the things helping with fuel economy in this ZR2 is cylinder deactivation. So this V6 can actually cut out 2 of its cylinders and just run as a V4. Now, it isn't exactly always easy to get it to kick down into 4-cylinder mode, and that's just because you do need to use the power in this V6 quite a bit to make sure you keep moving at highway speeds, especially in this ZR2, I think, because of the way the tires are. You know, there's just more drag, there's more mass that this truck has to move, so you can get it to bump down into V4, but it doesn't do it all that often. Okay, we're just pulling off the highway here in Oshawa, and it's just a short run over to GM headquarters where the Canyon is waiting for me. So first thing we'll do is go find the gas station, fuel back up, and we'll do some quick math and figure out how much fuel we burned on our way here. All right, here we are. We just pulled into the gas station in Oshawa. 98.9 kilometers, and we did an average of 10.5 liters per 100, which is pretty damn good, actually. Now we'll switch it over to US, and let's take a look at what that does for us. So that's a 61-mile trip, and we averaged 22.4 miles per gallon. All right, now we'll see how much fuel it takes. All right, guys, now to do the math ourselves. So we take 12.109 liters used, and then we go divided by that 98.9 kilometers, and then you multiply that by 100, and that brings us to a total of 12.24 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, if I can convert this to miles per gallon, according to the Google machine, that gives us a total of 19.217 US miles per gallon. So it looks like the computer was a little generous. We didn't quite get as good as the computer said we did, but this is still better than the EPA rating. We're rated at 18 miles per gallon on the highway, and we still managed to beat it. So I think it's safe to say that in the ZR2, it's not too tough to beat those fuel economy ratings. Now let's go jump in the Canyon and we'll compare. Guys, we're making the switch out of the ZR2 and into this Canyon Denali. Now the real surprise, and this is a bit of a curveball, I wasn't even expecting this, it's a diesel. This thing has the Duramax diesel under the hood, it's a little 4-cylinder. So this comparison just became gas ZR2 Colorado versus Canyon Denali diesel. Now the ZR2 actually did pretty good. It beat its ratings, and of course you'd expect this diesel to do the same, but who knows? We're gonna take it back on our road trip now, and we'll see how it does. So yes, this is actually a bit of a curveball. It was supposed to be a gas canyon. For some reasons, we had to take this diesel canyon, so whatever, we'll take what we can get, and it'll still be interesting to see how this diesel does against that gas engine. Now, as it sits right here, this diesel is rated at 20 miles per gallon in the city, 28 miles per gallon on the highway, and 23 miles per gallon combined. Now that 28 is a full 10 miles per gallon better than what the ZR2 over there is rated at. So I'm really curious to see if this diesel is actually that good, because the ZR2 beat its rating. It beat the EPA rating. If I can beat the EPA rating here in the diesel, we're gonna be way beyond what that truck could do. So let's take off, do our 100 kilometers back home, and see what happens. Okay, diesel's filled up. We'll go ahead and reset the trip. And check out the range, 699 kilometers of range on this guy. So a little more than that gas truck. And yeah, here we go. So what are the differences between the gas engine and the diesel? Well, this 2.8 liter Duramax diesel makes 369 pound-feet of torque. Now, this engine uses a 6-speed automatic, unlike the 8-speed that's used on the gas engine, but both of them have a 342 rear end. And it's worth mentioning that the fuel economy numbers I've been spitting out have all been for 4x4 trucks, because that's what these are. Now, of course, I've been running them in 2-wheel drive, but if you do get a Canyon diesel 2-wheel drive, you can actually manage to get a 30 mile per gallon highway rating from the EPA. And once again, we're out here to test that today. So I've just done some more city driving to make sure I matched exactly what we did in that ZR2. And now we're about to hit the highway again and head back to Brampton. So let's see how she does. There's 50, and we're doing pretty dang good so far. 8.2 liters per 100. Now, we haven't had as much heavy traffic on this run as we had on the way out. But as we come more into the city, into Toronto, I think that'll probably change. But even still, 8.2 liters is really, really good. Oh, and one other fuel economy factor today is the air conditioning. Now, this truck currently says it's 27 degrees Celsius outside, and it's really humid. So I've had the AC on both directions for the entire time. We just pulled into the gas station with the diesel, and take a look at this number. 7.9 liters per 100 over 98.7 kilometers. That is pretty damn impressive for this little truck. Now let's go ahead and switch it over to US. So that gives us a total of 29.3 miles per gallon, almost 30 miles per gallon, over a total of 61 miles. Now our range remaining is 79 miles, sorry. 80 there, just clicked over. And look, the needle didn't even move. This thing still reads as full. So we're gonna go and fill it up now, and we'll do the math ourselves and see how it did. But either way, this thing is an impressive unit for fuel economy. I do like where the DEF filler is on this truck. Right here, beside the gas cap. Makes it easy. Okay, now let's do the math. So we take 7.576 and we divide that by the total distance, which is 98.7 kilometers, divided by 98.7, and then you multiply by 100 to move the decimal, and that gives us a fuel economy of 7.67 liters per 100 kilometers, which once again is really impressive, and that beats the rating for this 4x4 trucks. That gives us a total of 30.66 miles per gallon. Look at that. So I mentioned off the top that the highway rating for a two-wheel drive Canyon diesel is 30, and we just hit 30 miles per gallon average. Now again, that drive was mostly highway, and there was a little less traffic on the way back. However, I did do a little more city driving in this Canyon than I did in the Colorado, and that didn't seem to matter. So the results here aren't really all that surprising. The diesel was way more efficient than the gas engine, and I guess maybe the takeaway is that it doesn't matter what package you get, whether it's that ZR2, which is the least efficient, or just this diesel Canyon, which is very efficient. It's not hard in either of these trucks to meet or exceed the EPA fuel economy ratings. And you know what? The EPA says that there's a 10 mile per gallon difference, and our real world testing proved that. We got 10 miles per gallon better in this diesel than we did in that ZR2. So as always, guys, make sure you subscribe to TFL Truck and come back here for more news, views, and real world fuel economy testing reviews. See you later.